Welcome to a new episode of Angels Recap, our 7th of the season, where we're going to talk about that painful series with our rival Houston Astros. But before we do, I'm just gonna let you know that we will mention the controversy that took place in Game 2, where we had those two calls that didn't go our way, and those calls were really wrong. Like, overly loyal Angels fan would tell you that they would be some of the worst calls he's ever seen in his life, and they could have cost you the season if we had to ever look back on those. Okay, maybe he wouldn't. But here we go, talking about the games. Game 1, which was on Thursday, we had Christian Javier going against Alex Cobb, and guys, Javier, who they had called up from their alternate training site, absolutely kicked our butoxes.
What did he say?
How about this? He was so good, he struck out the first 8 batters that he faced. He went 5 1/3 innings, striking out 9. Only gave up a couple of hits. Like, that game was just not fair, to say the least. The only runs that we managed to score in that game were on an Albert Pujols home run, which even then was a kind of a questionable call because you couldn't really tell if the ball hit the foul pole in right field. But we got that call, and those were the only runs we scored that game. Bregman and Straw and Gurriel and Correa had RBIs, but that was just a painful game. And now we get to Friday night, where it's Zach Greinke versus who pitched for us on Friday night. We had Andrew Heaney pitch Friday night. Heaney and Greinke were in a deep pitching duel until the 5th inning, when Shohei Ohtani would break the scoreless tie with an RBI double, and Jared Walsh would follow with an RBI single to make it 2-0.
Nice.
But in the first inning of that game, there was a very controversial call about Walsh being apparently out of the baseline. Take a look and tell me what you think.
Little roller on a pitch down and away. That throw looked like it ticked the base runner there coming up the line, and a run scores.
It's a matter of, will they say he is inside the line or not?
He's got that running path. That running path is his. It's a clear lane.
So they're calling him out.
Yeah, they're going to call him out.
So that means the runner has to go back.
Well, wasn't that a controversial play? I'll have Professor Matt now come in here and speak to you guys on what should have happened on that play and who was involved in calling that play. Good evening, class. It is time to go over what happened on that play. And I thank Angels fan Matt for the introduction there. Let's go over what happened on that play that you saw where Jared Walsh was running to first base. So, it says here that home plate umpire Brian O'Nora made this call, and O'Nora, the home plate umpire, claims that the runner for us, Jared Walsh, was in the base paths when he was hit by an attempted throw to first base on a ground ball that he hit back to pitcher Zach Greinke. When looking, he looked like he was inside. It says here, when looking at the replay, it looks as though Walsh was inside the base paths when he was drilled with Greinke's throw. But here's the thing. The home plate umpire would not have a better view of that call. It would be the first base umpire, in this case, Ryan Wills. Yeah, it even says here that Wills would have had a better look. So, it's a very controversial play, but I do know that is not, it says that is not reviewable. And it even confirms here, this play is not reviewable, and it should be fixed because I have seen highlights of this similar kind of play. MLB needs to change that. rule. It's not very good. And it also says here, Honora is not the only umpire to receive backlash like other umpires have on social media. Angel Hernandez can attest to that as well. He gets ragged on a lot for some of the stuff that he does. In the 7th inning, Andrew Heaney would get pulled after giving up a double to Yordan Alvarez. So Joe Madden decides to take the baseball from Andrew Heaney and turns to Aaron Slegers. He's got a 1-1 count to the hitter I fear most on the Astros, Yuli Gurriel, and he throws a meatball over the plate, and Gurriel drills it to tie the game at 2. So the game would end up going to extras, and the Angels got 2 runs thanks to an RBI by a great contact hitter by the name of, who's a good contact hitter on this team? David Fletcher, getting a RBI base hit, and Albert would add another hit. But then in the bottom of the 10th inning, the Astros would get a couple of runners on base, and Jason Castro, the now ex-Angel, I remember on one of my videos last year I said the ex-Astro Jason Castro. Well, he's back on the Astros in his second tour of duty with them. He hits a base hit? Really? I need to see this.
But again, shooting a gap right here.
Ball hit well down the right field line. That is a fair ball. Strauss flying. It goes into the stands for an automatic double. Would have been a tie game. Instead, it's second and third, and 1 out. Straw easily would have scored from third.
I completely agree, TK, and that's what I was talking about. Even though the outfield's playing deep, if you shoot the gap or get one down the line with the speed of Miles Straw, you're giving yourself...
We're going to have another look at this, so just in case you missed it. Remember to pay attention to the right side of the screen.
Straw easily would have scored from third.
I completely agree, TK, and that's what I was talking about. Even though the outfield's playing deep, if you shoot the gap or get one down the line with the speed of Miles Straw, you're giving yourself...
People were saying on the post-game show that I watched on Instagram that wasn't even close and how egregiously terrible it was. Honestly, watching that a couple times, it's pretty darn close.
This is correct.
It's a matter of inches. The review was surprisingly quick. I thought that would have taken longer because I thought they should have gone more in-depth. And that is a reviewable play. That is a reviewable play because you saw there the umpires briefly got together to talk about it, but that was just painful. And then of all people, Robel Garcia, and he is the hero for our hated rival, and he gets the clutch base hit over the head of Jose Rojas to win the game for them 5-4. Game 3. I don't even know what the hell that was. Jake Odorizzi gets injured after one batter throwing 5 pitches. Arm injury, the report was, from the Astros. And they bring in some dude who we've never heard of named Kent Emanuel. We can't even do anything against him except hit 2 solo home runs, one from Show and one from Albert Pujols. And after that, Astros go on to score runs and runs and runs, and we lose 5 trillion to 2. Oof! And David Fletcher hits a little dribbler towards first base that hits the bag, and 2 runs score, and it's 2-0. But then a little bit of deja vu. It's the bottom of the 7th. It's 2-0. But this time we haven't gone to the bullpen. We have a runner on base for the Astros. It's Yuli Gurriel at the plate. And guess what he does? He hits a ball to the next state to tie the game at 2.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
We then have the 8th inning, and Shohei Ohtani steps up against Luis Garcia.
Shohei drives it. Deep right center field. Oh, Shohei. Gone! Look how far that baseball went.
That's the new section up there. They had, I think there's a taco stand up there. That baseball's crushed. Well, not the sprint around the bases. That time, you have to stop and watch.
Where did that ball end up? Holy cow. Shohei hitting the ball 440 feet, as you saw there. That was amazing. And then in the 9th inning, Jose Rojas gets his 6th hit of the series. My goodness, after suffering through him being 1 for 21, he's on fuego now, having 6 hits in his last 4 games. And then, wait a minute, what's Anthony Bemboom doing up here?
That one, Bemboom down in right field. Rojas, they're going to send him on around toward the plate. A big add-on run delivered by the bottom of the order for the Halos.
Bam, boom.
Just as we thought, Anthony Bemboom goes boom boom to right field to make it 4-2. Angels, a clutch base hit for him. Great job. That's a significant hit for you. And Raisel Iglesias this time will not have another bugaboo as he gets Alednes Diaz to ground into a 4-6-3 double play. That ends the game. Angels will take it 4-2, and we travel to Arlington, Texas to take on the Texas Rangers. This will be a 3-game series just like last time. I'm hoping we can win 2 out of 3 or sweep. So it will be Shohei Ohtani versus Jordan Lyles, so we'll face that guy again. Ohtani needs to work on his command as he had like 6 or 7 walks to go along with his like 7 or so strikeouts in his last pitching performance. Alright, Tuesday, Foltynewicz for the Rangers, again, versus Jose Quintana. That was the same matchup that we had just last Wednesday, and I believe Ohtani versus Lyles was the same one in that other series. And then we get to face a different guy on Wednesday. His name is Dane Dunning. Dane Dunning was acquired from the White Sox in the Lance Lynn trade in the offseason. Dunning was a top prospect for the White Sox, so he hopes to develop his talents for the Texas Rangers. So keep your eye on him. And he opposes Alex Cobb. Players to watch. There's going to be a few players to watch here on each side. For the Rangers, let's start with them. I would say keep your eyes out for Adolis Garcia. Adolis Garcia has been kind of surprising to start the year. He's hit a few home runs already. He had that clutch one against us, you might remember. I was very unhappy about that. That was some Texas-sized pain.
Bruh.
Also, let's watch for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, the shortstop. Can run pretty well. Hits for contact, and then the big power dude, Joey Gallo. Gallo, of course, can hit home runs to the moon. And then there's Nate Lowe, who has had a ridiculously good start to the season. Keep your eye on him, number 30. For the Angels now, watch for Mike Trout. He should be back tomorrow. He said he's looking forward to being in the lineup tomorrow, so I hope I'm correct there. If he's in the series, Anthony Rendon. And let's also watch, if he returns, Max Stassi, the catcher. I want to see if he can put some balls in play. And then let's also watch for Mr. Contact himself, David Fletcher. So those are my players to watch for both sides. The predictions, one of 2 teams will win. I believe that against Lyles, we only hit him for a couple runs, so I'm going to go with a rather low-scoring game because I don't know if they're going to activate Rendon until Tuesday. I'm going to go with a score of 4-1 Angels, and in the second game, which I'm expecting the full lineup, it's Quintana, though. I'm going to go with a big score, and I'm going to go with a big score of 10-7, and I think we win that. And then Dane Dunning, who we haven't faced, I think he's going to hit us pretty good, and I think we're going to lose that game 7-3. Those are my predictions. Tell me what you thought in the comments below. this video, remember to hit the like and the subscribe button. And let's root for our Halos to get back on their winning streak, or a winning streak, and see if we can catch some other teams in the standings. Let's go Halos, and let's get some wins. Go Angels!